Hey guys, J0, how you doing? I hope all is well in YouTube land, whatever part of the world that you are in. Let's cut some firewood part 2 Q&A. I had a lot of questions about some stuff on the firewood cutting and splitting video. First of all, thank you guys very much. There was a lot of really cool tips on bar and chain maintenance and sharpening your chain, and now I understand that the pile on the hill is not the tertiary pile, it's the tertiary pile. I'm learning. All right. Some of the questions, somebody said that they said, wow, 310 pounds, I thought you had lost some weight. I did lose a little bit of weight, but then I found it again. It turns out it was hiding in a skillet of biscuits and gravy. So I found it and I brought it back home, and it's home safe now. The weight is no longer lost. It's back home where it belongs, safe and sound. It fluctuates. My weight fluctuates. It goes up and down. In summertime, I get skinnier because we're sweating a lot more. In the wintertime, sometimes we're cooped up and I still eat the same amount, and it just, it goes up and down. That's not something that I concern myself with. A lot of people would say, you need to watch your weight because, big fat guys die early. Yeah, well, sometimes little skinny dudes die early too. It's just, to me, it's not something I concern myself about. My religious beliefs teach me that when my time comes, my time's coming, no matter I'm big, fat, or skinny, and healthy, and all that kind of stuff. So, anywho, not trying to push the issue. I'm just saying it is what it is. Kind of wood. What kind of wood was I working on and splitting? We had 2 trees that we felled up there. One of them was a white oak tree. Here's a round from the white oak tree. You can see how it's got a whitish color in it. And then this one, the great big one, was a red oak. You can see the difference. Hopefully you can see the differences in the color on the camera there. I don't know how well my camera will pick it up. Now please keep in mind, I am not an expert in wood. I don't have an advanced degree in treeometry or whatever it is that, that all that kind of stuff is. This is just my general knowledge, average everyday dude in the hills. So yeah. And by the way, yes, I got my wide brim hat on today because it's snowing and sleeting, and it helps keep everything off me. It keeps my head dry and keeps my head warm, and every proper man of the hills should have a wide brim hat. Just saying. All right. The chain sharpening, they say, why don't you get like a Harbor Freight chain sharpener and sharpen your own chains? Why do you take them in to be sharpened? 2 reasons. One, I have got a pretty good track record of screwing things up, for lack of a better phrase. So once a year I take my chains into a professional dude who, that's what he does. He's really good. He doesn't ever grind them way down. He does an excellent job. He's really good at what he does. That's one reason why I do it, because I'm afraid that if I do it, I'll grind too much of it off and I'll screw up the chain. I'm okay with a file, but when it comes time to really get them good and refurbished, I would rather have some dude who has a lot more training than I do on that. And I will get into it at some point. I'm just not there yet. 2, I like to support local dudes and local businesses, and the guy who does that, who has our steel dealership there in Ironton, he's just a dude like I am. He's trying to raise his family and pay his bills, and I don't mind spending a couple of dollars at a local business to keep things here local and keep our local community up and going. I don't mind spending a couple of dollars to have him sharpen my chains once a year, just because, I like doing things locally. This dude's trying to raise a family just like I am, and if I can take my chains to him and have him do a really good quality job and just cost me a couple of bucks to keep that business up and going, well then so be it. That's what I'll do. Cord of wood and a rick of wood. The other day when I mentioned that we cut several cords and we store like a cord and a couple of ricks on hand. Again, I'm not an expert. This is just what I have been taught and what I think it is. A cord of wood is a unit of measure on a stack of wood that is 4 foot high by 4 foot wide by 8 foot long, I think. And a rick of wood, I think, is 2 foot wide by 4 foot high by 8 foot long. So it's roughly about half, I think, of a cord. I don't know. I may be wrong, and I'm sure somebody in the comments can verify that and clarify all that. And if you do, I would really appreciate it. But there's another dude, Grizz. We do the same thing that you do. Mostly it's truckloads. We'll cut a truckload. We'll cut a truckload here. We'll cut a truckload for there. Hey, I need some wood. Well, how much you need? At least a truckload, maybe 2 truckloads. But for the sake of using measurements whenever I'm talking about how much wood we have. That will give you an idea on how big a cord is. A cord holds quite a bit of wood, usually around a full-size pickup truck. Full rounded bed will be around a cord. Somebody asked about cutting logs that are bigger around than your bar for your chainsaw. I wouldn't, if you're going to try to fell a tree, be very, very careful, and I would actually suggest probably trying to find somebody who has more experience with really large trees. Really large trees are dangerous when you're trying to bring them down. And if you don't know what you're doing and you don't have the right gear, they will drive you into the ground like a nail, and that'll be the end of you, brother. So please be careful. Now, if the tree is already felled, if the wind brought it down or some other dude come down with a big saw and brought it down for you, then what I do, because I run across that too, where my bar won't go all the way through around. So what I'll do is I'll cut it straight down this way, almost to the ground, about to here or so, and then I'll start cutting the other way, and I'll cut it down, finish the cut out that way. That way I can get the round cut out of it. I don't know if that makes sense or not. I'll start my cut going this way, and then there'll be a spot over here that's not cut. You can just start your saw at an angle and find that groove, and then go ahead and finish out your round. That's what I do. Again, nowhere near like a logger dude or anything like that. That's just how I do it. There's probably some better information out there, but that's how I do it with the equipment that I have. Boots. The boots that I wear, somebody asked about the boots that I wear. These are Irish setters. I've had these for, I think, 13 years, going on 14 years. They are great boots. They're the ones that had like the snake proof or whatever. I found them in a bargain bin at Cabela's, but I need to replace them because they're really old and they leak. My feet get cold and wet. But, good quality boots cost money, and I just haven't been able to get myself a good pair yet, but I will. But these are Irish setters, and like I said, they have lasted me 13 years in the hills, and they were well worth the money. I think I got them for like $69 back when I got them. So, but they're Irish setters, and they have been my favorite boot by far. Okay, somebody asked if we dry our firewood. Yeah, you need to dry and season your firewood. A couple of years back, we had some ash borer beetles that come through our area and killed a whole bunch of our large trees. So a lot of the trees that we are cutting down are either already been blown down by the wind or are dead standing, and we drop the dead standing trees to get to the wood. I do know some dudes who will pick out a tree, like right now, this time of year, they'll go and they'll pick out a tree, a live tree, and they'll cut it down, and they'll cut it into rounds, and then they'll set it up on pallets or something off the ground, and leave it set until next winter, and that'll be good and dry and seasoned for them next winter. So dry firewood does burn a lot hotter and better than wet wood does. Wet wood, it will burn, but it won't be as hot because of the steam that's coming out of the wood, and it really is a pain in the butt to try to keep a good hot fire if you're using for heating going. So there you have it. I hope those help. We are going to be cutting some more wood here. This is what we do this time of year. We got this pile here. We're going to start splitting up and stacking and getting ready for the really cold days to come. So I hope those help. I hope those questions, I hope that helps. Like I said, I'm not an expert. I'm just a dude. And if you're looking for a how-to, you got the wrong guy. This is just a how I do things, or like my sister Bev says, how does it. So anyway, there you go. So we're going to get after it, you guys. Thank you very much for watching. Again, I hope this helped. Have a great day. God bless. The end. Crap. Okay, not the end. Sorry. Last question that I forgot about this. Several people asked me why my log splitter will lean up like this to where I can put the logs down and split them while they're standing up. They say, why bother doing all the work of lifting when you can just stand it up and split them? Well, the main reason is one, it makes me feel super macho to lift a heavy weight. Oh, ow. And two, this lifestyle that we live requires me to maintain a reasonable physique. I have to be able to lift, and I have to be able to work, and I have to be able to wave at traffic on the creek road. And in order to maintain my strength, I don't go to town 3 or 4 times a week and work out with weights and all that kind of stuff. Not saying that's a bad thing, but I keep myself in shape and I keep myself strong by just working. And spending an afternoon lifting some of these big heavy rounds, you know, lifting them up and putting them like that, that's a way for me to maintain my strength in my back, because as we all know, I don't rely on brains. I rely on brawn to get through. So that's the reason why I do it. Yes, there are some that are just too big for me to lift, and I will stand it up on that occasion. And yes, I have hurt myself in the past trying to lift things that were too big, and you get to about right here, and then something comes out of your butt that ain't poop, and it's just not a good thing at all. So it's yeah, but that's why I do it. And even dudes who go out and, you know, lift with weights and stuff, they hurt themselves every once in a while as well. You just something that you got to be careful doing. But me, I feel I need to do that. I need to climb the hill several times. I need to be active, and I need to use my strength in order to maintain it. Otherwise, I'm just going to shrivel up into nothing, and then I will just blow away in the next strong wind. And we can't have that. So anyway, that's the last question that I'll answer now, and we'll get into some more updates later on. And yes, I will do a critter update soon. There's been some people riding me, man. They're just riding me. Talk about them critters. So we will do a critter update soon. And now we're going to get back to work, and you guys have a great day. Thanks for watching again. God bless. The end. Buzz, buzz. The end.